Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, kissing like a raindrop, she's got the look. Heavenly bound, cause heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color, her loving is a wild dog, she's got the look. 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 And I go la la.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
Shop ChooseNissan.com, by Academy Bus, official team carrier of the Columbia Lions, and by Barbasol Premium Disposable Razors with Close Shave Technology. You're looking good in America. Hello, everyone. Alongside Sal Rosamilia, I'm Alex Oberweger. Glad you could be with us tonight on the Ivy League Network as the Columbia Lions and the Penn Quakers play an all-important game in Ivy League women's soccer. Matter of fact, the Lions come in tied for first place with 6 points on 2 victories, but the Penn Quakers only 2 points back with a record of 1-0-1 and 4 points, and it's 4 points on 1 goal.
They've gotten the most out of their production this year. 6 goals on the year, and that includes 3 wins and 3 ties, but right now it's all about the Ivy table, and we can see right there, huge match tonight, only 3 undefeated teams left. Columbia and Princeton alone on top, 2-0, but Penn right behind. A win on the road tonight from Penn, and they put themselves in tremendous position as both of these teams tonight still have to play Princeton. So huge night tonight, great way to start off week 3 in women's soccer in the Ivy League. Really looking forward to tonight's matchup. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous night for soccer.
And Columbia coming in has been an offensive juggernaut of sorts, helped primarily by an 11-goal output against Wagner, but Lions boast 2 of the top 4 scorers in the Ivy League in Natalie Nishat and Emma Anderson, and that could spell double trouble for the Penn Quakers.
These 2 are a handful, and it's been great to see Natalie Nishat in her senior year, and Emma Anderson as a junior. She's done it for 3 straight years now. The production that she continues to put out for the Columbia Lions has been tremendous. But you're right, 11 goals in 1 game, but separate that, there's still 17 goals that this team has scored in the other 10 matches. So it's been a lot of production, a lot of offense. They face a Penn Quaker team tonight that's only given up 8 goals all season long in 11 games. So something's got to give. Is it the offense tonight with Columbia, or is it the defense tonight with Penn?
Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups first for the visiting Penn Quakers. And you'll see there, we just lost our feet. Let them know that we're gonna just pick up at the start of the game. Take a break. Take the break. Take the break. Welcome back to Rocco B. Camiso Soccer Stadium. Apologies for the technical difficulties here on the Ivy League Network, and those of you joining us here on ESPN3, Alex Oberweger alongside Sal Rosamilia. And as we were just about to get to, let's talk about the starting lineups for both teams. The Penn Quakers coming in with a record of 3-5-3 overall, 1-0-1 in Ivy League play.
And they'll go in a 4-2-3-1, which is a bit of a defensive formation as you have the 2 holding midfielders you see there, Lloyd and Trask, just in front of the 4 defenders. So a big part of why Penn
Quakers, not the most auspicious start to the season with only 3 wins on the season, but in Ivy League play, they've buckled down on D. They haven't conceded a goal yet in 200 minutes of play.
I spoke with head coach prior to the game from Penn, and she's been happy with the way it's gone this year. She made an effort to schedule a really difficult early season prior to the Ivy League starting part of the schedule, because she said once you get into the Ivy League, it's so difficult to score goals. She goes that I wanted to find a non-conference schedule that was going to kind of mimic what we would see once we got into conference play. And she said that I believe that 5 of the programs that they've played out of conference, our top 100 programs. So, yeah, it's not maybe the record that she would like, but it's been good preparation, as we see from the good start in the league, 1-0-1. It's been great preparation for what they're going to see.
Ball over the touch line, and the Quakers will get the throw. This is the only game in Ivy League women's soccer this evening. All of the games in the league, other than this one, will take place tomorrow afternoon. Harvard, Cornell, Princeton, Brown, Dartmouth, Yale. The remaining games on the fixture schedule for this week of Ivy League play. The Princeton-Brown matchup of particular interest to both of these two teams tomorrow in Providence. Brown took the Lions 99 minutes of scoreless play and came in as a team to watch. Hemmings checked off the ball, but picks up again. Good defending by Jane Walensky. Ambrose sends it through. Coe can't get to it, and it gets to Q. Lions and Quakers. 12 minutes in, no score, here on the Ivy League Network. And the shot, plays it out, square, broken up. Megan Lloyd played it back. Amalia Johnson. Forward for Emma Anderson, who makes a move and gets inside. With a left-footed shot curling to the far post and knocked aside by Q. What a shot by Emma Anderson.
And we just had a tremendous look at that from where we are, Alex. That was always curling in the upper 90. Left-footed shot, you see the turn there. Look at that. What a look we have from the camera there. That's going upper 90 and at the last second. The best save I've seen in a long time at this level from Kitty Q, keeping the game scoreless.
Reminiscent of the save by Etzler against Columbia last week by Brown, as Coe takes the corner in swinger towards the far post.
I think that one's better because Q is listed at 5'8", and that's upper 90. Like, she's got to really extend there at the last possible second and deflect that away. That was always curling, always looked like it was going to be a goal. And out of nowhere, Q keeps the game scoreless.
And it was necessitated by a brilliant move by Anderson, who sets up the shot.
Well, it's been a solid start to the game for the Columbia Lions. They've had all of the pressure in the Quakers' half of the field. And some good chances here.
Johnson. Emma Anderson, the National Offensive Player of the Week last week after her 4-goal output against Cornell and Wagner. And truly one of the star offensive players in the Ivy League. Now, obviously, team down in central New Jersey will have something to say about that. They almost always seem to have an offensive threat. Mimi Asselm is one of them, and they have a couple of others as well. And next week should be a very entertaining match between Columbia and Princeton, which you can see on the Ivy League Network next Saturday.
Remember, last year at Rocco B. Commisso Soccer Stadium was a great win for the Columbia Lions over Princeton, who came in with all that high-powered offense that you were talking about.
Tyler Lucy, yeah.
That was a shutout by Columbia.
That was a signature win for Tracy Bartholomew and her Columbia program last year. The Lions started off really strong, and there's a takedown at the edge of the box. Anderson marked closely. Had she been about a foot further to the north.
That's how difficult she is to defend. I mean, she's just so strong on the ball, able to turn to her left, turn to her right, loves backing in her defenders. You're right, if she was just a foot further forward as that ball's being played. It's a penalty kick, but wonderful opportunity. That's almost where Anderson hit that left-footed shot not too long ago that Kitty Q made a fantastic save on. Anderson does not look to be in the area to take this shot. Looks like maybe Emily Coe.
It's a four-person wall. Walensky, Larson, Loving, and Sands as Coe tries to feed to the far post. Ambrose with a left-footed shot over the net.
Yeah, it was a good setup there. It was obviously a play that they worked on in practice. Columbia put two of their own players in front of the ball, and then one of them knocked it back to Coe. I thought maybe they were going to knock it back to Coe for a direct shot on goal. Instead, it was that service into the box there, and unfortunately for Columbia, really a wasted opportunity from that spot on the field to not force Kitty Q into at least having to make a save.
Interesting to see how the Lions play. You mentioned that Q only 5'8". Obviously a little bit of a liability for a goalkeeper to be that height, but at the same time, Columbia's keeper is 5'7" in Sophie Whitehouse. So it's also not just about height, it's about reach and extension. And Hemmings with a nice play on the near touch line. Gets the ball towards Anderson. Anderson's shot, saved by Q. This one down on the ground.
Yeah, she is just so good at making that turn now. That's the second time in a couple of minutes. Anderson turns to her left foot. It's another great shot at goal. Kitty Q is having a great, there it is, with the left foot. If she doesn't hold that, looks like she makes it looks a lot easier than that really was. It was a great shot by Anderson. It was bouncing in front of her. If she doesn't hold that rebound, Natalie Nashot was ready to pounce for the Lions. So two huge saves early on from Kitty Q.
Maya Johnson, who has presented a few good service balls so far, led Hemmings on a couple of runs, tried to get it into Anderson, and Penn will clear. The Quakers have been on their heels for the most part here in the first half, in the first 17 minutes of action on the Ivy League Network. Sophie Whitehouse challenged maybe once where she had to come off her line. The Lions have had the better of it, although the Quakers stepped forward there as Lloyd comes away with it. The Lions recover.
Penn has struggled to score this year. In 11 matches, they've only scored 6 goals, so it's amazing how much production they've got out of those 11 games from those six goals all year. 3 wins, 3 ties.
And 4 points in league play, which is good for third place all alone in the Ancient Eight, as Maris Hemmings has trouble with the first touch, and it'll be a throw-in deep in Columbia territory for Penn. Looks like Walensky will come forward to take the throw. Taken away. Anderson. Hemmings. Penn punches it forward. Emily Coe goes for it. She's bowled over by Catherine Larson, who controls. Up the far wing. Wilketti got it in the center of the field, but the Lions' defense was there. Penn will change the field and come across. Loving. Emma Loving. Appeared to be looking for Paige Howard, but Howard didn't make the run. And the Lions will restart. Sophie Whitehouse will distribute. Heading into the 20th minute here in New York City. Glad you could join us here on the Ivy League Network and ESPN3. Alex Oberweger, Sal Rosamilia for Ivy League Women's Soccer. Militello double teamed. Does well to get it back. Now Johnson. Hemmings. Taken off her foot by Lloyd. Hemmings takes one off the face, but chases after the ball. Good stick-to-itiveness from Amaris Hemmings. Lions are tracking back very nicely in this first half so far. The forwards and midfielders coming back to interrupt the passing lanes. And here come the Lions coming forward. Coe with space. Breaks inside, but the ball taken off her foot by Allie Trask.
Yeah, it's a good tackle by Trask. It was a good run forward from Emily Coe, cutting inside to get it to her right foot, try to pull that shot off there.
Long service into the box, headed away. Comes back out. Blocked that time. Now Johnson. From 30 yards out, Q is there.
Confident goalkeeping from Kitty Q. We've seen it for the first 20 minutes here tonight. A couple of really, really good saves off of shots from Emma Anderson, and then a couple times coming off her line with confidence, making good catches.
Nicole Van Dyke has a lot of confidence in Q, who's a sophomore from California, but getting all the starts in Ivy League play so far for the Quakers this season. Anderson trying to catch up to that one, but it's broken up. Lloyd is there now.
There are so many good goalkeepers in the Ivy League, in the women's game. Every team is really blessed in that regard.
Coe can't get it through the defense. Johnson headed away. Stepping forward was Penn. And here's Hemmings from the edge of the box. Inside. Anderson turns. Shot blocked.
Coe is down in the box.
Emily Coe behind the play. And it looks like the official will stop the clock as the Lions left forward. Slowly getting up to her feet. Looks like she may be trying to continue and just taking a breath, but we'll see. It's definitely a lower body injury, judging from the training staff. We'll see how Tracy
so
Bartholomew plays this one.
Yeah, hopefully she's going to be okay. Sophomore Emily Coe, 3 goals, 3 assists on the year. Really good service coming down that left side in the 4-3-3, that left wing. They're limping a little bit.
Yeah, Coe definitely stable on her feet, but a little hitch in her step. So it looks like the Lions will take on a substitute. We'll see how that plays out for Columbia.
Rachel Alexander can certainly come in for Emily Coe, and it's a similar type player, similar style, and it looks like Alexander is going to be the one. I wasn't sure if they were going to give her a minute or two, play a player down and see if she can come back in, but it's going to be Rachel Alexander.
So Alexander checks in, the junior from Silver Springs, Maryland. Number 23 for Columbia. And the ball will be given back to Penn for the restart. Q steps forward. Amalia Johnson steps up, but knocks it over the touch line. One thing you will note in Ivy League women's soccer, truly national recruiting. You have players from all over the place, from all parts of the country, if not internationally as well. Columbia's Caroline Militello is a Hong Kong native, as listed in the scorecard. But it's, the nature of this game, and Sal, you know a thing or two about Ivy League soccer, this is not a regional league at all. This is a national league, almost in every sport. It's the best of and the brightest come from all over to come to the Ivy League. And that has actually changed the way coaches have to approach their recruiting in their offseason.
Well, who wouldn't want to come to New York City to get a tremendous education and also play high-quality Division I soccer? And no slight to any of the other teams in the Ivy League. They're all in great areas, great parts of the country.
Hemmings takes off. Finds Anderson on the overlapping run to the outside. Cross is knocked aside.
I think what
I
we're
tell you
seeing...
what, but you're seeing it a lot, but every school is got these national recruiting, and it's
You have to compete now.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it takes.
And the financial aid offered by Ivy League institutions is akin to scholarships for some of these student athletes, and that makes a huge difference as well. And so, whereas it used to be that individual schools competed in one or two sports against their peers, now every school is making an effort to put together the best roster they can from the best student athletes from all over the country, if not internationally. And you see that maybe a little bit more on the men's side than on the women's side, but you know, that's just the nature of the game as well, where women's soccer is definitely...
It's starting to pick up around the world, but really, you know, women's soccer is much larger in the United States than really it is anywhere else. And on the men's side, it's the opposite. Obviously, soccer is the world sport on the men's side everywhere else you go. But
Speaking of, for those of you watching on the ESPN family of networks, obviously there's another big match going on in Orlando, Florida. The U.S. men's national team hoping to keep their Russia 2018 hopes alive.
getting
With a
ready,
game against Panama.
getting ready to kick off over there. But you can DVR that game. We won't. We'll warn you if we're going to give you an update on the score. You can mute us for a couple of seconds, and then you can go check that game out after watching this one. We started first, so you should continue with
exactly.
us.
And there's no shame in that. Hemmings. Natalina's shot. Rachel Alexander back to Nishat. Nishat, the Lions' leading scorer with 8 goals. The chip into the box. Hemmings challenges Walensky for it. Alexander tracks back. And now Johnson steps forward. A good effort there by Emma Loving to keep the ball moving forward for the Quakers. There's Loving. With time and space. That time straight at the Columbia defender. Whitehouse off her line to the top of the box.
Like the first 25 minutes or anything like this game is going to go. Unless there's a complete defensive breakdown or a mistake. I'm having a hard time figuring out how Penn's going to get a goal here tonight. Doesn't mean Columbia's going to score because Kitty Q has been excellent.
Nishat. The shot is blocked. And Penn the other way. Here comes Emily Sands. Emily Sands, who is listed in the starting lineup as the target forward, but has been playing a little bit further back, especially compared to Paige Howard.
Well, no, but
Howard actually was the target forward. Emily Sands is sort of right
just behind her. Yeah, that Paige Howard is kind of playing as the classic striker, the number 9, so to speak. And Emma Sands,
Emily Sands
is
the
actually
high
playing
midfield,
like the 10, the attacking midfielder, filling in behind, trying to find those open gaps between Columbia's
the
back
Maradona
line.
spot, right?
Yeah, between Columbia's back line and their midfield. She has the freedom. The problem is Penn hasn't had any possession in Columbia's half of the field, so we haven't seen either one of them really get involved so far tonight. Both of these teams defensively have really started to find their way the last 3 games. Neither team has allowed a goal in their last 3 matches heading into tonight. Columbia 3-0 in those 3 games. Penn 2 wins and 1 draw in their last 3.
So the defensive form has been good. And offensive form for Columbia. There's a chip. But Whitehouse is there with no pressure.
Yeah, Columbia in those last 3 games have scored 14 goals. Penn in the last 3 games have scored 3.
But it did take 99 minutes to get the 1 goal against Brown on Saturday. That was a very important 3-point
extreme
goal.
But Christine Etzel, the goalkeeper for Brown, was a big part of that. It looked like a couple of times Columbia was going to get that goal and get that breakthrough.
Lions and Quakers scoreless with 17 minutes to go in the first half. Emma Anderson. Natalie Nishat. Lions have some space on the right side, and they find Hemmings. Hemmings goes to the outside. Right-footed cross blocked aside by Jaden Walensky. Hemmings gets around one defender. Leaves it, but cleared away from trouble by the Penn defense. Riley Lucas with the winning header at midfield. Amalia Johnson. Nishat. Just a bit outside. Natalie Nishat, who scored the game winner against Brown from just inside the 18 on a nice chip of the keeper.
Yeah, first time was the service into the box. Etzel was starting to come off her line. The Brown goalkeeper never got to her, and the shot got to it first, and a wonderful left-footed kind of half volley over the onrushing Etzel underneath the crossbar just before the defender can clear it off the line. Everything just worked perfectly for that game winner.
Lions taking on a couple of substitutions. Maddie Tamaris and Gracie Wall checking in for Columbia. Gracie Wall, as you mentioned, normally in the starting lineup, hasn't been feeling 100%. Spoke with Lions coaching staff earlier this afternoon, and they said that she may see action tonight. And obviously, with 15 minutes to go in the first half, she is seeing action. Johnson. On the other side, Tamaris just on for the first time. Here's that Hemmings is one of the two players taken off, and I think Militello the other one. There's Wall. Sends it forward to space. And a nice run by Ambrose. Rachel Alexander on the left wing. Into the box. And no blood, no foul.
Service from Alexander was good around the back of the defenders into Natalie Nishat. Got a first touch onto it. Went down in the box,
a good no call.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything to it there.
Tamaris, who scored 2 in the 11-0 win over Wagner almost 2 weeks ago. Emma Anderson, challenged there by Walensky. Maya Johnson will take the throw. Get a good look at how close they are as Johnson tried to find Nishat, who keeps it in on the end line. Comes across. Lions recover. Ambrose gets around the defender. Service is blocked. It'll be a corner kick for Columbia. Their second of the evening. And another substitution for Columbia as the Lions take off Amalia Johnson. Replace her with Bailey Peacock.
These are the substitution patterns that we've become used to seeing so far this season.
Clearance by the Penn defense. There's Peacock. Entire right side of the Lions, the right flank of the Lions team has been replaced. Penn going the other way. Long service. Whitehouse is there. She avoids the on-rushing forward.
Nice read again by Whitehouse. You know, alert, goalkeeping, off her line, saw that.
Kelsey Andrews, who had come in.
Yeah, much easier for the goalkeeper to come get that in her hands, you know, as opposed to the defender running with her back to the field, trying to have to deal with that under pressure from Andrews.
Rachel Alexander keeps it in on the touchline. Sends it forward for Tamaris. Now it's Nishat. Gets it to the outside. Anderson overruns, but there's Alexander. Alexander defended by two players. Trying to force a corner. Instead taken away by Wakedi. And a foul called on Alexander.
Yeah, hard work. Unfortunately, she gets called for the foul there, but great second and third effort from Alexander. Been a good substitution for Coe.
Trying to see if Emily Coe is still in positive status for the evening. Looks like she's on the sidelines. Not getting treatment, but stretching herself out. Nearly 35 minutes gone by, no score between the Lions and the Quakers. Lions with the two best scoring opportunities in the first half on turnaround shots by Emma Anderson, but both ably solved by Kitty Q, who has yet to concede a goal in Ivy League play. Here has Penn with the recovery.
How first one is a candidate for play of the week for sure in the Ivy League.
We'll get Matt Panto right on it for the Ivy top five. Lions letting the ball do the work. Dangerous ball in the center of the field. And taken away by Penn. Peacock being chased by Andrews. Goes over the touchline, a throw in coming.
Come on, Lion!
Walensky. Shift inside for Sands. Played back. Walensky. Penn showing a little bit more aggression here in these final 10 minutes of the first half. Taylor Penn comes away with it. With space. Emma Anderson. And a shot. Trying to find Rachel Alexander moving forward. The Penn defense too stout. Here comes Penn the other way. Sands. Plays it wide. Wakedi. Into the center of the field. Taken all the way in. Tackled away. No foul called.
That was a perfectly timed tackle by Taylor Penn. Unfortunately for Penn, the player is still on the ground inside the box. Appears to be a little shaken up. Hopefully she'll be okay to move forward, but a perfectly timed tackle by Taylor Penn, certainly not a foul. Penn player a little upset about it. Looks to be Catherine Larson.
Larson is up and appears to be okay. See if we can get another look at that tackle by Taylor Penn.
And referee Michael Lee was in absolutely perfect position, right on top of it. Saw it the whole way.
So Penn denies Penn of a scoring chance, and that was Penn's best chance. Peacock. Morris.
Sharp.
Turns around. Andrews forces it back. Peacock again. To Morris. Back to Peacock. Morris now with space.
Forward. Come on.
Anderson gets by the first defender. Switches to her left foot. The shot. Stopped by Q. Might have gone wide anyway. But Q read it well.
She did, and went to the near post this time. Last two shots for Anderson with that left foot went towards the far post, but great move getting inside again onto her left foot. Didn't get all of that one. The first two shots that she had really looked like they were going to cause trouble for Q. That one, her easiest save of the night.
6.5 minutes to play in the first half. No score between the Lions and Quakers. Long lead for Howard. Cleared aside.
Such a young team from Penn. There are 11 starters, 2 juniors. Everything else, first year, second year players, freshman, sophomore for Penn, 2 juniors out of their starting 11. And the only player off the bench so far, Kelsey Andrews, also a sophomore. So a really young team that's performing quite well for head coach Nicole Van Dyke.
One of the things that you see as the players get older and more mature, especially at this level of NCAA Division I women's soccer, that extra summer in the weight room makes that much difference. You look at Emma Anderson, the player she is now, just as a physical presence is different from what happened previously. Into the box, cleared aside by Columbia, but a good opportunity there by Allie Trask.
And some more changes coming from both teams. Like Holly Nishat coming in for Columbia.
And Kristen Miller, a rarity on this Penn lineup, a senior from Rutledge, Pennsylvania, checking in for the Quakers. So the Nishat twins are in the lineup as Penn earns their first corner kick of the evening. 4:30 and counting.
In the first 25 minutes, I didn't see Penn getting a goal here tonight through the run of play, but credit to them, the last 10, 15 minutes or so, they've started to create some more chances for themselves.
A right-footed outswinger headed away by Alexander. Oketti fires it back in. Takes a deflection, headed away. Holly Nishat. Emma Anderson. Lloyd. Trask. Oketti plays it long, but over the end line. So the best sustained pressure of the evening in the last 5 minutes by the Penn Quakers. Were it not for the tackle, the sliding tackle in the box by Taylor Penn, the scoreline would definitely be against the run of play so far. Penn steps up and sends it back. Holly Nishat. Taken away from her. Sands. Rachel Alexander comes away. Tries to send it for Anderson. Anderson making the run to the left. Anderson at the edge of the box. Anderson tries to go deep. Turns it back. Sends it back out. Ambrose. Guarded by Oketti. Ball is cleared up the sideline. Columbia will maintain the throw from here as Ambrose waiting for one more substitution to take place as Alexander comes off for Aaron Trapp. So with 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining here in the first half, perhaps a tactical substitution by Columbia.
Yeah, it looks like Trapp is going to take the spot of Gracie Wall, and she moved Gracie Wall forward to where Alexander was.
Tamaris can't get to it. She puts it off the Penn defense.
Or maybe moving Holly Nishat a little bit more forward where Alexander was.
Sands taken away from her. Played forward into space, but nobody there. Tamaris. Holly to shot. Wall. Back to Wall. Towards the middle of the field, but over the head of everybody. And Q gets to it. With a minute and 1 second remaining. Lions and Quakers still scoreless. Ball off the foot of Tamaris with 40 seconds to play. See if Penn can make a final push. Or if both teams Riley Lucas. Holly Nishat. 15 seconds to go. Nishat. The Lions play it back. See if they can take the final shot. The chip towards the keeper, headed backwards. Q gets to it, and that's the end of the first half. So the Lions advance it towards the goal line, but a little too late. And what could have been expected when we started this game, a scoreless first half. Both teams showing discipline in the back line, and a solid 45 minutes for Columbia. Some really good defending and goalkeeping by Penn.
And that's been the difference. Kitty Q has made a couple of great saves. Off of Emma Anderson, Columbia's created by far the more dangerous opportunities, have looked like the better team in the first 45 minutes, but it's scoreless and still a lot to play for coming up in the second half.
A lot to get to at halftime, including the top 5 plays for the Columbia Lions. You're watching Columbia Women's Soccer on the Ivy League Network. No score at halftime. Columbia Women's Soccer on the Ivy League Network is brought to you by Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Take on today. The best choice to travel between Manhattan, New England, and Washington, D.C. is Go Buses. Book a seat on one of our new buses and enjoy a hassle-free ride, power outlets, and free Wi-Fi. To learn more, purchase tickets. Visit www.gobuses.com. A busy week in Columbia athletics. The Columbia Lions men's and women's soccer team were in action last weekend against Brown. The football team went down to Princeton, New Jersey. And field hockey was up in Cornell. Now it's time to take a look at the top 5 plays from all that action last week. It's time for the Columbia Lions top 5 plays of the week.
First down, Columbia. Outside of the screen to Wainwright. Hurdles over the lips and it keeps going into the 7. You want to talk about athletes. Columbia's got athletes at wide receiver.
Okay, this is a different Columbia team. Like Coach Al Magnolia said to us, in the last couple of years, he's got better athletes on his team.
By Welp. Hagstrom can't control. Carrillo right into Joshua with a curling shot around the charging Sapicchio. And Arthur Boschua on the scoreboard, giving the Lions a 3-0 lead. Ambrose. Natalie, the shot is going to get there before Edsel. It's over Edsel. It's in! The shot wins it for Columbia.
Trailing by 3 on the road to open up Ivy League play. Hill takes the snap. 7 coming again. Throws it. Ronald Smith there. Across the 45 to the 50. He's got nobody in front of him. Ronald Smith the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown Lions. Can you believe it? Ronald Smith, 63 yards, 50 of them running. What a pitch and catch from Hill to Ronald Smith, and the Lions have shocked Princeton at home. It's not over yet, but you can hear a pin drop here in New Jersey. A minute and 12 seconds left on the clock. Ronald Smith, 236 yards on the afternoon. 63-yard touchdown catch from Anders Hill. 27-24 Lions lead.
So no score at the half between Columbia and Penn. What a week that was for the Columbia Lions. We'll see what next week's top 5 look like after this weekend is over. Columbia women's soccer returns for more at half. After this, no score from New York City.
Wireless. Our plan started at only $30 a month. We've got more 4G LTE coverage than T-Mobile or Sprint. And if you switch now, you can get a brand new smartphone for free. Cricket Wireless.
the Ivy League.
Get ready for Columbia Giving Day. On Wednesday, October 18th this year, Columbia Athletics is driving to make gains in the support of our student athletes. Put in work like a Columbia Lion by making your gifts to athletics online at givingday.columbia.edu. Dig deep and help lift your sport higher than it's ever been before. Use the hashtag LionGains on social media and show your pride to help the Lions win prize funds that will directly support our 31 sports programs. Spread the word to all your friends, family, and fans. And remember, October 18th is Columbia Giving Day. No score at the half. Columbia and Penn will be back with highlights and stats in just a moment.
Starbucks and Mourinho 70 cold brew coffee. In stores now, only at Starbucks.
Back here at the half. No score between the Penn Quakers and Columbia Lions women's soccer on the Ivy League network. And it wasn't for lack of trying by the Columbia Lions. It was just great goalkeeping by Kitty Q that has kept this game scoreless. Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
And there was a lot of Emma Anderson in the first half. You see the service into the box coming from Anderson. Scramble inside the 6. One of the easier plays that Kitty Q had to make in the first half, but it was continued sustained pressure. We see Anderson rounding the corner, then pulling it to her left foot. And then that shot towards the near post again. A good, comfortable save from Kitty Q. She was confident the entire game. And this was right at the end of the first half. A back header attempt as the halftime buzzer was sounding.
And that'll bring us to our halftime statistics. And I mean, it was mostly a Columbia half. Penn put on a little bit of an effort towards the end of the first half. In the final 15 minutes, you could see a little bit more offensive activity by the Quakers, but it was mostly Emma Anderson, and Emily Coe actually had a very active first 20 minutes before she had to leave with an injury.
And hopefully she'll be okay to come back here in the second half. But 5 shots on goal for Columbia. 4 of those came from Emma Anderson, and 2 or 3 of them were really, really solid saves from Kitty Q, who was credited with 5 saves in the first half. Sophie Whitehouse with 2 shots towards goal, 11-5 in the first half. All in Columbia's favor, but credit to Penn. This is the way they've been playing all year long, and looking to get a result tonight.
We'll be back with the start of the second half in just a moment. No score at the half on the Ivy League Network. NYC Hotel is a proud sponsor of Columbia Athletics, located in Times Square on 8th Avenue between 44th and 45th Street. Row NYC is just minutes away from campus via subway and the ideal location for your next New York stay. Experience all the city has to offer while being conveniently close to the Columbia campus. Call 212-869-3600 for reservations or visit rownyc.com. And Ivy League fans, if you want to get the most out of your mobile viewing experience, download the Ivy League Network mobile app. Available for both Apple and Android devices to watch more than 1,000 live and archive events each year with hours of on-demand content from all 8 Ivy League schools. Visit the App Store on your iOS device or Google Play on your Android device to download the Ivy League Network mobile app today. As we get ready for the start of the second half, between the Columbia Lions and the Penn Quakers. And Sal, what are you looking for here in the second half?
Well, I don't think Columbia really has to do much different than what they did, and that is continue to create chances. Penn has to make a bit of an adjustment on Emma Anderson because she's really had her way against the Quakers defense in the first half, and it's going to be difficult if she continues to create that number of chances and those quality chances here in the second half that she's not going to find herself a goal tonight. For Penn, it's what do you want out of the game? Are you looking to defend as much as you can and come away on the road with 1 point, or are you at some point going to push some more numbers forward, maybe push a second forward up there with Paige Howard and actually go for the win if this thing remains scoreless for quite some time?
And you got to think that tactically, Penn comes away with 1 point out of this game on the road, and stays undefeated in league play, especially with their game against Princeton still to come. That's a good result for them. Columbia, on the other hand, playing at home, is looking to get the maximum 3.
Well, Columbia's been pressing forward the entire time and has been really effective. So, yes, I agree with that. The problem with Penn is they've already got 1 draw, so they've already dropped 2 points in the league. If they get another draw tonight, now they've dropped 4 points,
and shot goes wide.
Anderson fell to her right foot there. That initial shot was blocked on its way towards goal.
That is an opportunity that Columbia will keep taking. When Anderson has the green light. When you look at the Columbia stat page coming into the game, Emma Anderson on the season has 49 shot attempts, 20 some odd on net. So she's going to shoot from anywhere and everywhere. Penn lays it back. Trask to the near side with Kenny. Overlapping run to the end line, and Penn gets the corner.
Kelsey Andrews.
Andrews, who came on as a substitute in the first half, staying on for the start of the second. Had some inspired play there in the start of the second half. Service across, headed towards the far post, chipped up and on top of the net. Every time you see a bulge in the onion bag, you wonder on which side of the plane it is, but that one hit the top of the net.
I didn't know I was doing the game tonight with Tommy.
Tommy Smith.
That's good stuff. It's good to see Emily Coe back on the field here for Columbia to start the second half.
Coe had to miss the second half of the first half, so she missed the second quarter of the game, as it were. But she looks no ill effects as she makes a run down the left sideline. Tracking forward. Kenny settles, sends it forward. Trask. Can't beat Natalie Ambrose is there, and Riley Lucas. Taylor Penn. The Lions reverse. Amalia Johnson. Long ball. Looking for Emma Anderson. Couldn't get her. And Penn comes forward. Lucas clears it forward. Once again. Taken away. Sands. Can't get it past Johnson. Militello. Goes for Hemmings down the right wing. Chipped off the foot of the Penn defender. It'll be a Columbia throw. Up comes Amalia Johnson. Played back and across. Ambrose on the left side steps forward, has some space, takes the shot, deflects, and Hemmings can't get to it.
There's a good run inside there by Natalie Ambrose, attacking from her left back position again, that time pulling it to her right foot. The shot was headed towards the far post, was deflected.
Andrews working on Johnson. Johnson shielding the ball away. Getting the goal kick for Sophie Whitehouse. 5 minutes in to the second half. 50 minutes played. Still no score in New York City. Alex Silverwager, Sal Rosamilia with you. Glad you could join us on the Ivy League Network and ESPN3. Emily Coe goes to her left. And slide tackle by Wokeni over the touchline. It'll be a long throw for Columbia.
Yeah, really good defense that time by Wokeni. Emily Coe had a good head of steam heading forward.
Step forward was Penn, Taylor Penn. Now Ambrose swings it in. Dangerous area. Q has a beat on it.
Coe lost it for a second. She was first to the ball in the box, headed it straight up in the air. Did not really have an idea of where it was, unfortunately, for her and for Columbia. Q was able to come off her line and pick it up before Coe realized it was close to her.
Foul in the back. It was Chase Geffert. Knocked over her counterpart wearing the 22 shirt. So from about 40 yards out, the Lions will get a shot from the center of the field. Amalia Johnson tees it up. This looks like a set piece here. The chip into the box, over everyone's head and over the end line.
It's a ball that I love to see played on frame for that reason right there. Is if it misses all of the connections, misses all of the runs into the box, at least the goalkeeper has to deal with it. You never know, it can get a deflection off the other team, just causes fits for the goalie where that service is always on target.
Takeaway by Hemmings. Cross just wide, and nobody there at the far post. Coe a few steps behind it. Saw a lot of the youngsters playing on the field at the half. Still a nice family crowd here on a Friday night in New York City. One of many events that you will see on the Ivy League Network. And maybe some of you who are going back and forth between the Columbia women's volleyball match going on simultaneously. Sal Rosamilia will be with you on Sunday afternoon, solo, to do the men's soccer game against Penn. Columbia men's soccer also looking to maintain their Ivy League shot and saved by Q. Once again, Kitty Q comes up big.
And against Emma Anderson, once again, that time with the right foot there from Emma Anderson. Tough angle. Q having to dive to the right. The key to this here is, again, not giving up a rebound. It's a good chance there, but look at Natalie Mashot waiting for any sort of bobble, any fumble. That's just terrific goalkeeping from the Q.
No score. Penn moving forward. Shot coming. And Sophie Whitehouse gobbles it up. As a goalkeeper, talk about what it's like when the run of play is on the other half of midfield for most of the game, and then all of a sudden, against play comes a shot right at you. I mean, it takes a little bit of concentration to make sure that you get it and get it safely.
It does, and the key is just staying mentally involved in the game. Perhaps talking more when not getting enough touches.
Larson, taken away from her. Good run by Ambrose, broken up by Rocchetti.
That was the key for me. You know, oftentimes you're not getting enough shots, you're not getting enough touches, you're not really feeling like you're involved. Communicating with your defense, feeling like you're a part of it, making your brain work, if not your body, keeps you sharp when you're asked to make a save like Whitehouse just was.
In some ways, as a keeper, obviously you don't want to be under pressure the whole game, but a keeper like Q is more into the game, given the action she's had to face and the fact that she's made a couple of saves, so she's into the game at this point.
Just continues to breathe confidence, and you could tell it in the way she's playing. I mean, those are saves that she just looks really, really sure of herself. Not giving up those rebounds, like I said, but Whitehouse has had enough touches today where she's into the match and should not be an issue moving forward.
And it almost looks like the kind of way that you beat a goalkeeper like that is on a ball that changes direction in midair.
It's going to take something special tonight to beat Q, it seems.
Shot right on. Whitehouse is there. As Trask has been active here in the start of the second half, 10.5 minutes in. No score, Columbia and Penn on Ivy League Soccer Friday night. The first of 4 Ivy League women's soccer matches on the Ivy League network this weekend. 3 matches tomorrow on the Ivy League network. Big one tomorrow is Princeton versus Brown, 3:30. Important matchup for these two teams as well, as Princeton and Brown have 6 and 3 points respectively. Coe, keeping her balance, sends it forward, intended for Anderson, but broken up. Hemmings. Foul call. A throw that went over the touchline. Here we can take a quick look at the games tomorrow. All available on the Ivy League Network.
You had mentioned Princeton, the big one tomorrow, 2-0, top of the league right now with Columbia pending this game here tonight. Columbia can root for Brown tomorrow since they've already knocked Brown off this year.
Larson into the box, gets it across. Whitehouse is there. The Lions defense holds.
And Larson did a good job that time with pressure from Natalie Ambrose. They'll still stand possession, hold possession with that pressure from Ambrose and get a shot towards target.
Cleared all the way down. Taylor Penn will play it back to Sophie Whitehouse. Confident first touch with the feet. Malia Johnson. A little bit less frenetic pace here, but here comes Hemmings. Gets it around her defender. Good tracking back by Walensky, but they're going to call that a foul as the Lions lost the advantage. So a restart from around 33 yards for Amalia Johnson.
Penn has some big defenders, so it's going to be tough for
Lions, right. To win something in the air is going to be challenging against a team like Wagner when the Lions had size advantages all over the field as Johnson sends it high, but too high. Lions are not necessarily going to get those free looks in the air. The Lions will take on a substitute here 15 minutes in. Gracie Wall replacing Caroline Militello. Shot comes forward, and Anderson, fancy footwork, able to retain possession. Strong work on the ball by Anderson. Hemmings makes a run. Hugh comes out to get it.
initially that ball was great work from Anderson. Found Hemmings open in some space, but the ball got stuck between her legs there. And just played it too far.
Wonder if you'll see any tactical changes here as both coaches seem to be getting substitutes ready.
I don't think tactics are the issue here for Columbia. They're continuing to press forward. They're playing with three forwards. They're attacking from different areas on the field, creating opportunities. It's just now getting that final touch in and around the box to make the difference here tonight.
Paige Howard knocked it off the Columbia defender, and they'll set up a substitution for Penn. See if Howard is going out. And Emma Loving comes back in. So Loving, who had went off for Andrews, comes back in for Howard. So slight change there for the Quakers.
Can re-enter in the second half, so Howard can come back.
Haven't mentioned her name much, even though she is the target forward for the Quakers, at least.
It's tough. It's oftentimes she's playing 1 against 4 as that lone striker in Penn's 4-2-3-1 formation. Columbia's back line is really difficult to break through. Unscored upon now in their last 3.5+ matches.
Hemmings making a run, taken away from her. Good defending. Johnson. Get by the Penn defense. Into the final half hour of play. 27:34 officially on the clock. For those of you who normally watch the World Game, the clock does count backwards in college soccer. And that is the official time on your screen. Chipped across. Finally cleared. Kayla Davis could not get to it. Johnson. It's inside. Davis off the crossbar. And it's no goal. No goal. Waved off.
Q kept it out on the line. It was a scramble. You see the shot's going to come off of the crossbar. It was still loose. Emily Coe gets another chance. It's a great ball in by Johnson. There's off the crossbar. Coe gets the head to it. It's over Q. But watch, it never crosses the goal line. She catches it. She keeps it out. And then the referee says no. Right there, she had her hand on the ball. She had possession. The entire ball has to go over the entire line. It never happened during that sequence.
Kitty Q, the story of the game so far, keeping the game scoreless. Larson, broken up. As we mentioned, it looks like it's going to have to be a broken play like that that's going to beat Q. And even then, it could not. Hemmings making a strong run. Gets to the ball first. Can't beat the defender as Waletsky takes it away and forces the restart.
Peacock and Alexander back into the game for Columbia. Malia Johnson will leave, as well as Amaris Hemmings.
Whistle it down and restart one more time on the throw. 25 minutes to go. Lions replace their right side. Alexander working into the box. Gets it to Davis. Shot right on. And Q comes up again.
At 5'8", Q really is making the goal look small tonight for Columbia. Perfect positional goalkeeping that time. Another great setup to Kayla Davis. And you see the tail end right there. Kitty Q not giving up any rebounds tonight. Man, she's been stingy. And she's been excellent.
She has, I think, 8 saves. Sophie Whitehouse credited with 2. Lions putting on much more pressure here in the last 5 minutes. Quakers looking to withstand. Emma Anderson playing from the wing. Inside to Alexander, back to Anderson. Takes it away. Cleared by Penn, but not too far out. Goes to the near side. Ambrose. Ambrose steps forward. Gets towards the top of the box, but can't penetrate 5 defense. By Penn. And there's Taylor Penn. Bailey Peacock. Emma Anderson. For the feint. But can't get that. But it will be a corner kick.
Well, that was the spot on the field in the first half where Emma Anderson would turn with her left foot and create some great chances for herself in the box that time, making like she was going to go to her left and then trying to beat her defender to the right, but the corner kick came about.
Natalie Ambrose. Send it towards the center of the box, headed towards the far post. Picked up by Columbia. It's Coe. Sent back in. Played inside. Broken up by the defense and cleared out by Trask. Columbia gets it back. It's Ambrose. Into the corner. Spins. Deflected away. Another corner kick.
Good shot, job by Nishot that time, getting something out of that play. She was double teamed there by Penn Quakers and was able to get another corner kick here for Natalie Ambrose.
Fans getting into it as Ambrose, once again, this one heads out towards Anderson. Tries to get it to Ambrose, but not enough on the ball. Penn can come away. 22-22 remaining in the second half, regulation at the Rockaby Camiso Soccer Stadium. Columbia Lions, Penn Quakers, Ivy League women's soccer. And for those of you who are DVRing the men's soccer match between the United States and Panama, you can cover your ears for a few seconds. just let you know that the men's national team has a 3-0 advantage on Panama.
At the half, Pulisic with the first goal, Altidore with the next two.
So that is a good result in the making for the red, white, and blue. And advancing the ball down the sideline as Colombia kicks it over the touch. Possession in this game has been on the order of 65-35 in favor of Colombia. But Penn's had a couple of chances. They have had a couple of bursts here and there. And when this game stays scoreless with 70 minutes played, anything clearly can happen in the next 20.
This is Ivy League soccer, isn't it? In the women's game and the men's game, really. What Coach Nicole Van Dyke tonight talked about prior to the game. Those are always hard to come by. We expected that here. Two teams that have not allowed a goal in their last 3 matches coming into tonight. It continues here.
Emily Coe. Broken up by Megan Lloyd. Peacock takes the ball away. Sent forward. Rachel Alexander looking to get to it. And gets to it first. They'll try the far touch line. Under 20 minutes left in regulation. Lions needed 99 minutes to defeat Brown on Saturday a week ago. And in 110 minutes, couldn't get anything past Cornell. Both these two sides are used to extra play, but we still have some time left. Off the foul, and gets a restart. Still not pressing forward.
This
Still
gives them
4
the chance.
players behind the ball.
Yeah, this gives them a chance to at least get some more numbers forward into the box, be a little bit more dangerous. They don't have to do it through the run of play. They actually can now do it on a set piece. They've got 5 players at the top of the 18 right now.
Lions have everyone back. Sent forward. Cleared by Columbia. Sent right back in. White House gets there. Couldn't see if the flag was up anyway, but Lions were trying to push forward. Alexander. Peacock. Sent forward. Here come the Lions. Cross. Anderson at the top of the box. Shot by Alexander is blocked.
That was blocked by Anderson, their own player.
There's Anderson. Gets around the defender. Sends it forward. And a foul called.
I did not see much there.
There was some jostling going on, but it almost looked like the Penn player had Anderson's jersey. But the physicality ruled in favor of Penn. So, with 17:40, still no score. Penn with the ball. Coe. Can't get it past the defense, but she gets it back. Cleared. Over the touchline. Ambrose to restart.
Let's go down again.
Wondering what that looks more like a cramp this time than an injury. And when we get a moment.
Penn's making a change here. Emily Sands leaving the game, looks like.
And Maddie Tamaris is in for Columbia.
Yeah, Larson coming in for Sands.
And Coe will be coming out. Cross. Step forward by Bailey Peacock. Alexander on the wing to the end line, puts it into the box. Peacock gets it back in.
Besides Q, I tell you, Penn has really defended well with numbers inside the box on some of these efforts, and when Columbia's been able to break through the defense, Q has been there to save their backs each time.
Ambrose. Tamaris. Tries to get around the defense. Cannot. Will be a goal kick. Take a quick look at the Lions' upcoming schedule. Lions have one more intersectional against Lafayette.
Next three on the road. They've been tremendous at Rocco B. Canisso Soccer Stadium. Non-conference game on Monday night, and then two huge ones within the league. That one at Princeton can really maybe be the deciding factor. What Columbia hopes for, of course, is they get back where they're comfortable, where they've been great in those final two matches against Yale and Harvard with a championship to play for. Columbia 5-1 at home this year.
Looking to remain undefeated as they've played 75 minutes against Penn and have not conceded a goal. Cox sends it long. Good first touch by Anderson. Davis plays it towards the wing. Alexander can't get to it.
Jaden Walensky has had a solid game, freshman defender for Penn. Whether it's been against Hemmings or Rachel Alexander, at times maybe Emily Coe, but Walensky has been difficult to beat.
Quick look at the Penn schedule. They've got only one more road game, and that's at Brown, ending the season against Princeton.
Of course, at home for Penn ending in Princeton, their hope is that they can do enough in these next few matches to make that final game at home for them a championship type match.
That game will have an impact on the standings, most likely for anyway, regardless, as Princeton always seems to be in it towards the end of the season. Penn can keep their defensive-minded efforts going. It's going to be an interesting opportunity for them. All those games can be seen right here on the Ivy League Network. Again, Penn with a restart. Long ball into the box. Cleared away. The challenge is there as a turnover made, but the shot comes away with it. Rachel Alexander. Emma Anderson with a dangerous ball in the center of the field. Here's Kayla Davis. Back to Alexander. Natalie in the shot. Gets around Andrews. Alexander. Good build up by the Lions here. The shot. Swings with the left foot. Curls it wide. As we mentioned, a dangerous play by Emma Anderson almost led to an opportunity for Penn. And actually, those restarts also dangerous because on those balls in the air, you never know when it goes into the box. There could be legs tangled up, and the official may see it one way, and you're looking at a penalty shot. A couple more substitutes coming in for Columbia.
Those restarts as well. We talked about it defensively, how it would be difficult for Columbia to score a a goal because of the tall players that Penn has. Same thing offensively for Penn. They've got some big targets that they can put into the box.
Maris Hemmings back in for Columbia. Laid wide to Sasha Stevens in the game. Broken up by Davis. Kayla Davis.
Kayla, go.
Davis with space. Leaves it behind Natalie Nishat, but she gets the ball away from the defender. Tamaris. Outside to Alexander. Alexander now on the left side. Alexander lays it off for Tamaris. Shot blocked by the defense. And it's a Penn possession. Scoreless game. 11 minutes to play here in New York City. Penn reverses field. Amalia Johnson, who's also back in. Right back. Hemmings tries to turn, get around the defense, cannot. But they're saying last touch by Penn. So Johnson with the throw. Nishat. Natalie Nishat. Hemmings keeps it in. Lions track it down. Tamaris. Nishat. Deflected and cleared. Ten minutes to go in regulation. No score between Columbia and Penn. Ivy League women's soccer match. The number 1 Columbia Lions and number 3 Penn Quakers in the league table after 2 weeks. Battling for 3 points here at the Rock. Here comes Penn.
Your shoulder. And boot.
Loving. Bounces harmlessly away against the New York City skyline, draping the back fence here at the Rocco DiCaniso Soccer Stadium as Emma Anderson is back in after getting a breather for a couple of minutes, taking advantage of the return in the second half provision. Laura Hamilton comes back in for Penn.
Maddie Dawkins for Penn for the first time, number 25. Rare upperclassman into the match.
Johnson. Gonna make their redo the throw because there's another Columbia sub. It looks like Holly Nishat back in for Rachel Alexander. So both coaches trying to get the fresh legs on for the final 8:22. Ambrose. Foul on Natalie Nishat. So Ambrose with a chance to restart for about 30 yards out. See if she'll use that left foot of hers. Looks like the set piece is set up for that, with all the Lions stacked to the right. And curls to the right. Johnson forces Penn to play it out. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to play in regulation. Still no score. Anderson can't pivot. Hemmings from the end line. Comes in front. Shot by Holly Nishat was blocked. But overrunning the ball was Allie Trask, but bailed out by a Columbia foul. Taken away. Johnson. Up the right flank. Tries to get it into Emma Anderson. Cannot. Lloyd broke it up. Columbia plays it to the near side. It's Ambrose coming up from the left back position. Stops. Shoots or actually serves it to the right. Holly Nishat volleys it over the net.
Good service there from Ambrose. The defender thought she was going to continue to take it and try to serve with her left foot. Instead, serves it to her right, plays it towards the far post. Good setup.
Another substitution for the Quakers as Emma Loving is checking out again. Replaced by Paige Howard, who returns to the game. And one last gasp here in regulation with 5:47 remaining. Lions wingbacks have been very active on the offenses. Ambrose crosses it forward. And Holly Nishat gets ahead to it, but not a solid contact. Not the most solid redistribution by Q. Columbia will regather in the 85th minute. Still scoreless. Holly Nishat to her sister Natalie. Natalie Nishat stops at the edge of the box. And a goal kick.
One-on-one, Penn has done a good job defensively. A lot of times it's been that left side of defense, Walensky, who's done well, but really all over.
And more impressively, inside the 6, their marking has been outstanding. The Lions have been able to breach the 18 on occasion, but really in the goal mouth, nobody's been open. Holly Nishat plays it to Hemmings. Hemmings with a cross into the goal mouth. Knocked aside by the Penn defense. Johnson serves it in. Headed. Now it's down. Shot save. Davis had the opportunity.
And again, Kitty Q is absolutely spectacular here tonight. That fell perfectly for Kayla Davis. The service into the box, it's just in the mixer there. And nicely for Kayla Davis from 6 yards out. Q on rushing, closing down the angle, making herself big at the last second when Davis was about to strike. Another wonderful save from Q.
Ambrose plays it forward. Anderson trying to get past the defense. And she'll be whistled for a foul. With a hand in the back. Let him play! Fans do not like the call. We come up on 3 minutes remaining. Holly Nishat with the steal. Emma Anderson can't get to it. Penn. Taylor Penn, that is. To Amalia Johnson. Amalia Johnson. Good effort up the right wing. Sends it all the way across. Tracked down by Holly Nishat. Pivots and forces the corner kick.
Well done by Holly Nishat, again getting something out of that. As we see some changes coming, substitutions coming from Columbia.
2.5 minutes to play in regulation. Rachel Alexander for offense. And Caroline Militello in the midfield. But Natalie Nishat and Holly Nishat both come out. So it'll be Kayla Davis to take this corner kick. Comes across, headed around, flicked on net, but over the crossbar.
That's that team defense, though, from Columbia. That's a ball that's bouncing dangerously in the box. And I said Columbia, I meant Penn, of course. Just tremendous numbers around the ball constantly. And you mentioned it. Once you get in that 6-yard box, it's just really making it tough for Columbia to break through. And when they do, Kitty Q has all the answers so far.
94 seconds remaining in regulation, but the goal kick not too much on target. And Columbia will get the ball back on the throw. So Johnson with 80 seconds remaining in regulation. Play to the whistle. Riley Lucas shanks that one out of bounds. Alexander to Hemmings. Good first touch. Gets into the box. Hemmings shoots! Just wide! Amaris Hemmings settled the ball, got past the defense, but couldn't convert.
What a play by Amaris Hemmings. That's a great long ball to her. We'll see the tail end of it here. She's in all alone on Q, and I tell you, Q didn't have to make the save there, but as good as she's been tonight, it makes the goal look really small, and it makes you feel like you have to hit the perfect shot just to beat her, and perhaps that was enough to force Hemmings to miss to the far post.
And that will do it for regulation time here at Rocco B. Camiso Soccer Stadium. So for the second consecutive home match, the Columbia Lions women's soccer team will need more than 90 minutes to get a result. Score is 0-0. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back after this on the Ivy League Network.
Award-winning interface. Award-winning design. Award-winning engine. The Volvo XC90, the most awarded luxury SUV of the century.
You don't have to sacrifice taste to stay in the game. Miller Lite, always brewed to have more taste and be less filling. Miller Lite,
ready for Columbia Giving Day on Wednesday, October 18th. This year, Columbia Athletics is driving to make gains in the support of our student athletes. Put in work like a Columbia Lion by making your gift to athletics online at givingday.columbia.edu. Dig deep and help lift your sport higher than it's ever been before. Use the hashtag LionGains on social media and show your pride to help the Lions win prize funds that will directly support our 31 varsity sports programs. Spread the word to all your friends, fans, and family. And remember, October 18th is Columbia Giving Day. Ivy League fans, if you want to get the most out of your mobile viewing experience, download the Ivy League Network mobile app, available for both Apple and Android devices. Watch more than 1,000 live and archived events each year. With hours of on-demand content from all 8 Ivy League schools, visit the App Store or Google Play to download the Ivy League Network mobile app today. While we have a moment, once again we can tell you about how this is the first of 4 Ivy League women's soccer matches on the Ivy League Network this weekend. Tomorrow's games include Harvard at Cornell at 1 p.m., Princeton at Brown at 3:30, Dartmouth at Yale in New Haven at 4 p.m. All 3 of those matches can be seen right here on your home for Ivy League sports, the Ivy League Network. Once again, we have a chance to take a look at Columbia's remaining schedule after this one. Lions playing Lafayette on Monday, their final non-conference matchup, and then Princeton, Dartmouth, Yale, and Harvard.
Yeah, no matter what happens here tonight in this match and what Princeton does tomorrow, that Saturday, October 14th game at Princeton really sets up to be a huge match in terms of championship opportunities, and then on the road at Dartmouth before finishing up with the final 2 Ivy League matches for Columbia women at home here at Rocco B. Commisso Soccer Stadium.
And for the Penn Quakers, no more intersectionals, no more out-of-conference, just 4 Ivy League matches. Dartmouth, Yale, Brown, and Princeton after this one as we get set for overtime. Two 10-minute golden goal periods. They will switch halves after the first 10. Columbia moving north to south in their home whites with Columbia blue, and in their road navies as they're going to stop the clock for what appears to be an official conference. Reset the clock. And apparently the game clock started 10 seconds late. We're down to 9:26 and counting in the first extra session. In regulation time, Columbia had 25 shots. Penn had 6, but not one for either team went in the net. Mostly because of Kitty Q.
Credited with 10 saves in regulation time.
Maris Hemmings off the back of the defender into the center of the box, but clear. So it was Wilketti who got the ball out of danger. Ambrose. Rachel Alexander back to Ambrose with space. Sends it in with the right foot. Hemmings heads it over and wide.
A nicely floated ball there by Natalie Ambrose towards the penalty spot on goal. Back header by Amaris Hemmings just off the target. Sort of redirection on goal here from this this type of service. That's the one. It's always working on goal. It forces Q to have to hold her line and read the deflection, and sometimes if the deflection is right, just doesn't give the keeper enough chance to react and make a save.
Johnson beats the defender. Inside, cleared away. Lions still can't get past the last line of the Penn defense.
They've done a great job holding their line inside the box and not fouling under this pressure.
Loving making a run, but Ambrose takes it away. What a game by Natalie Ambrose.
It's good to see her back 100% and healthy. Such a great player, 4 years for Columbia.
Alexander finds Hemmings, headed over, intended to find Emma Anderson, but a little bit too far. So Q gets it. Columbia with 25 shots, 8 of which by Emma Anderson, 5 of them on target. And yet at times it seems like it's been the better scoring opportunities by Kayla Davis and Maris Hemmings. Madalena shot out wide to Hemmings. Anderson off the back heel. Cleared out. Ambrose with lots of time and space. Plays it forward. Can't get it past the defense. Malia Johnson is back. Davis for Hemmings. Been very active this evening. Hemmings forces the kick out of bounds, but they're saying it last touched Amaris Hemmings, who will be a throw for Penn. Into the 95th minute. First of 2 10-minute golden goal extra sessions here at the Rock. Columbia and Penn looking for points. Ambrose sends it deep. Luchetti heads it out. Penn can clear. Ambrose to Alexander. First touch. Broken up. Over the end line. Goal kick for Penn. Sophomore goalkeeper Kitty Q. Definitely will be in the running for Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week. Alexander back to Ambrose. Emma Anderson fighting for position. Chase Geffert. Turn it over. Cross into the box. Headed away twice. Kayla Davis can't get to it. And gets it back. Puts the ball out of play. Both teams have made judicious and generous use of the substitution rule. See what happens here in the extra sessions. See who has the legs and who doesn't. The Lions' right side flank has been very active in Johnson and Hemmings, spending a lot of energy. Ambrose on the left flank has run back and forth and covered a lot of territory as well. Here's Rachel Alexander. We have not seen Emily Coe return since she left the game the second time. Ambrose takes a slight deflection and Q gathers it up. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first overtime. No score. here in New York City. The Fighting Quakers of the University of Pennsylvania against the Columbia Lions. Amalia Johnson tries to find Rachel Alexander, but it's cleared aside. Penn comes the other way with numbers. Riley Lucas, though, fights off the Penn player and gets the foul called. It will be a restart for Columbia. 97 minutes in. Find the right side. It's Anderson. Pivots, shoots on target. Goes right at Q.
Even if you feel like you know what she's going to do every time, she's still so difficult to stop. Emma Anderson back to the goal, tough to dispossess. Can go either way, choosing to go with her left foot more often tonight, but Kitty Q always seems to be positionally in the perfect spot.
She's reading it very well. Sophie Whitehouse will have to play it with her feet as it's played back to her. And you wonder now, with 2 minutes in this extra session and possibility of 10 more minutes after that, although here comes Penn the other way. Ambrose breaks it up and keeps it coming forward. Here's Ambrose across the midfield stripe. Natalina's shot to Emma Anderson. Just too far.
Almost the perfect ball there from the shot. Emma Anderson was making a good run, kept herself onside. Just a step too far, but again, credit, Q won't get a save there, but credit her for reading the play, aggressively coming off her line. If she doesn't, Anderson would get to that before it ran out of bounds.
Loving sends it towards Columbia. Intercepted by the defense, but a turnover. Trask. Broken up by Hemmings. But Trask gets it back. Finds Larson. Hemmings. Anderson. She's got it played off her foot. Under a minute to go in the first extra session. And a foul call. Take a look at what Penn tries to do here on this play. Almost think that they may want to go for some organized chaos in the box on this restart. They're sending all their defensive players somewhat forward as Waketi is moving forward. Goes into the box, and Whitehouse has to come out.
It's that ball I was saying I'd like to see Columbia play a little bit more. Always on target, always working towards the goal, always difficult for Whitehouse to consider. Coming off the line, waiting to see if there's a redirect. Whitehouse handled it very well, but you're right, that's the controlled chaos. That's something that you see cause real problems for goalkeepers, not for Whitehouse that time.
As we get ready for a quick 2-minute break before we start the second overtime, take a look at the great opportunities there. First by Columbia, as Emma Anderson had a chance, playing with her back to the goal. Playing with her back to the goal, getting a chance, but Kitty Q was up to the task. That's
the through ball.
That's the through ball from Nishat to Anderson. And the play at the end of the half by Penn, which would have gone completely against the run of play for the entire 100 minutes so far.
Long free kick into the box, bouncing.
Andrews almost gets ahead to it.
And that's that problem there at the last second. Whitehouse decides to come off the line. And you're right, any sort of deflection, just the slightest little hair even by Andrews that redirects it onto goal is going to kill the run that Whitehouse is making off the goal line to give Penn the win there.
And it would have been completely against the run of play so far in this match. It's been dominated offensively by Columbia, and you wonder now, with 10 minutes to go, Penn is 10 minutes away from another road point. Columbia this game, obviously, with Princeton next week and Princeton against Brown tomorrow. If Princeton holds serve tomorrow on the road, now that'll be a difficult one because Brown does have a decent team and a good goalkeeper. Princeton has been the class of the league so far out of conference, but that's why you play the games. That's the game that both of these teams are going to be watching. Penn can force a draw here, and Brown can get a result tomorrow. You've got a logjam at the top of the standings here in Ivy League women's soccer. So curious to see whether or not Tracy Bartholomew continues to keep going for it, get those 3 points, see if Penn coach Van Dyke will retreat, play some Catenaccio on the back side, or
I'm not sure that they can retreat much farther than they've already been retreating, and absolutely Coach Bartholomew is going to go out for the 3 points. Columbia's been on the front foot, have had Penn on their heels the entire night. No reason to change now in the final 10 minutes. Just try to limit those free kicks, those unnecessary fouls around midfield. It's really the only danger that Penn's shown this evening.
the set play off the opening kick is read well by Penn as Andrews plays it back. We will not go any longer than 9 minutes and 49 seconds. We could go shorter. As for the second week in a row, both the Penn Quakers and the Columbia Lions need extra time to get a result. Columbia won in the 99th minute against Brown last week. Penn unable to break through against Cornell, but didn't concede anything over 110 minutes last week. So the impenetrable Kitty Q making a name for herself in Ivy League women's soccer this early going. Has not been scored upon in 301 minutes of Ivy League women's soccer play. She's proven tonight that it is no fluke. Sometimes goalkeepers' goals against average is more a factor of their back line than their individual effort, but Kitty Q has been very much responsible for this scoreline tonight.
Yeah, she has, and the back line has played really well also, giving her the support, but Columbia has just been excellent in the build-up the entire way through the center third of the field. In the final third, they've been quite good as well.
And the first touches have been good too. Sometimes you notice that possession can be interrupted when the ball takes an inadvertent bounce, but the Lions have been very good tackling the ball well. Gracie Wall plays it wide. Wall getting a good run tonight, despite not getting a start. There's a Columbia player down at midfield as Rachel Alexander plays it over the touchline. Stop the clock with 7:43 remaining here in the second extra session.
So Natalie Ambrose has had a great match tonight for Columbia.
She has been all over the place and has not come out through the first 103 minutes or so. This may be the end of her night. It looks like it may be a cramp. Peacock will replace her. Ambrose has been up and down the left flank all game long. And now you can see unsteady on her feet. Hopeful it's a cramp for her sake. She'll take a rest on the sideline, try to get that stretched out. Peacock normally comes in on the right side. Place on the left side unless there's a tactical change. Johnson's there. Ball comes into Natalie Nashat. Hemmings tracks it back to Johnson. Johnson, good first step into the center of the field. Played through. Wall. Johnson. Tries to get it in. But Andrews is there. And playing it back to go forward. Larson. Broken up. Under 7 minutes to play in double overtime. Columbia 0, Penn 0. For a scoreless match through 103 minutes, this game is not lacked for entertainment. Here's Penn. Cleared by Riley Lucas, but not too far off. Trask. Kenny. Moving against Johnson, sends it into the box. Sophie Whitehouse is there. So counterintuitively, Penn moving forward here. After spending the better part of the last 55 minutes on their heels. The shot was held, but Columbia had possession, so no foul call. Columbia will play the advantage. Rachel Alexander. Bailey Peacock. Goes across to Amalia Johnson. Inside Militello. There's Anderson! She scores! Emma Anderson wins the game! In the 105th minute, Columbia 1, Penn 0.
And it took something wonderful from Emma Anderson, a give and go at the top of the box. I believe with Caroline Militello, we'll take another look here as Amalia Johnson does a good job keeping it in play. Creating something, it goes to Anderson, the 1-2 with Militello. Anderson splits through three defenders, the onrushing Q, and then slides it calmly to the far post. How many times have we seen Emma Anderson do that through the years, especially in Ivy League play? Score the big goals, score the goal in 1-0 matches. Unfortunate for Penn and Kitty Q, who had such a wonderful game tonight. But Emma Anderson does what she's done now for 2.5 years for the Columbia Lions, and that's score huge goals and game-winning goals. And you got to be fair. Columbia deserved tonight's win. They deserved the result. Weren't sure they were going to get it. If not for a last-ditch effort by Emma Anderson, they did.
And the Columbia Lions move to the top of the table with 3 wins and 9 points on the foot of Emma Anderson. Columbia wins in double overtime, 1-0. An exciting match here on ESPN3 and the Ivy League Network. Once again, Columbia women's soccer on the Ivy League Network is presented by Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By Academy Bus, official team carrier of the Columbia Lions. And by Barbasol Premium Disposable Razors with Close Shave Technology. You're looking good, America. Columbia women's soccer returns to action on the Ivy League Network next Saturday. The women's soccer team takes on Princeton. Game time is 7 p.m. You can watch the game here on the Ivy League Network. Columbia men's soccer returns to Rocco B. Camiso Soccer Stadium in the Ivy League Network on Sunday, this Sunday, at 3 p.m. You can catch a replay of this and other games on the Ivy League Network by visiting www.ivyleaguenetwork.com/schedule. So for all of us, Sal Rosamilia, Saul Steinberg, Keith Brook, John Proctor, Matt Price, and a cast of thousands helping out in Bristol, Orlando, and other places. Thanks for watching. Final score, Columbia 1, Penn nil in double overtime. The Lions stay in first place. Good night.